Anyway, I got places to be, a face to fix, and oh, bad guys to kill. Maximum effort.
Gotten a swine, take the fat, leave the carcass for the desert rat. Gotten a swine, break the bone, standing on the ridge alone.
Put it all together. Elbow pass, yes. Nice upper body. Right to the leg. Well done. Smart legs. Smart legs. Nice. Nice, right? Big breath. Heavy hips. Heavy leg. Heavy leg. Heavy leg. Stuff it. Left shin on the ground if you want. You like it. Nice, nice. Nice. Good leg work, beautiful. One last go. Short time for it. You're going to go watch that.
Nice, Dan.
Give him a little bit longer.
I know what I'm trying to do. You're already off. You're belly up, belly up.
My beautiful girlfriend's birthday, she sits right there with my family.
Solid. Look at me, just don't force anything, Chris. Just stay solid. John?
Wherever you want to take it, Colt.
Just stay solid, buddy.
Upper body and lower body.
They need this up, Chris. Just stay solid, champ. Just stay solid. Here, watch out, Chris.
Lock in. Go, Cowboy! Send it home. And lower body. You're fine. Round dragon grip.
Tony, put your elbow in the knee.
All day to grapple, okay? All day to grapple.
That's right.
By the eyes.
Stop. Force it, yeah. Fuck it.
Now you get it.
Reverse. Catch it.
Go for it. Counter attacks.
Gotta go. Yeah, nice buddy.
That's the balance. You stay on top. Keep him on his back. Keep him on his back. Push him on his back.
Go get on his back.
Try to mount. You can go full mount. Nice. Counter attack.
1 minute, Colton.
On your back. Drop back. You come back.
Colton. 1 minute, Colton. You got this. It's all your baby.
Nice. Take it.
Now it's your turn. He's tired.
Well done, buddy.
There we go, baby. Come on here, man. Oh, the MVP, man.
Every single key person on our team trained with us Monday through Friday. We're not going out training superstars from other teams. Home road, Joey Deal, the real deal, best coach in Chicago. If you want to learn some jiu-jitsu, you know where to find us.
Yeah, dude, what a day. I competed every weekend for the past 3 weeks. Had some great moments, some lows. I really needed this right now. Everybody did great. You know, Brad set us up for a good run there. in the finals here, and Adrian went out there, you know, and went to a draw with he's a world champion, so, you know, one of the best competitors in the Chicagoland area for sure. And, you know, I just went out there, let it fly, man. Strangle and wrangle. I kind of sometimes get a little bit of a knock for doing leg locks only or whatever, but I only had one today. Everything else was arm locks or strangle, so that's that, man. Wrangle and strangle. Get out there, put a pace on somebody. I had that last guy. He was pretty tired by the end, and that was my third match in. I'm hopping up on the fence celebrating. I can't thank everybody enough for all their love and support. And, you know, I gotta go have a little bit of an off season here, but we're gonna have some big things coming up later this year. I'm putting the food down, man. You know, I've been cutting weight a little bit. I'm tired of it. I was like 235 weighing in for this one, but how many 235-pound grapplers are out there doing flying arm bars, flying triangles? Not just once, but twice in the same night. I had two rounds of quintets and a super fight against, you know, Dan Hornbuckle. A lot of respect and love for him. He's absolutely awesome competitor. You know, I'm blessed to share the cage with everybody. I can't thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ enough for this moment, and it's almost bringing tears to my eyes. I really needed this to end these 3 weeks on a really high note. Get out there, make some money, and take home some trophies and some medals. And you know, I hope everybody's okay. Popped a few limbs today, but you know, that's never the goal. But that's a sport, and I hope everybody's okay. Sorry, I kept rambling, but get these other guys on the camera, man. They set up the rest of the night. Let me go do out what I do, and you know, take some of the load off my shoulders. Yeah. Especially this guy right here.
Hey, congrats, bro.
4 hours are up. No more celebrating. Maximus Quintet. I had a solo match as well. Absolutely great way to cap off this little 3-week stint of comps, back to back to back. Okay, some highs, some lows. Okay, some great learning moments, some great highlights. Things that I'll remember and other people remember for a very long time. You know, it's the accumulation of hard work, but really happy with the way my leg lock defense has been going, and my passing been, you know, playing around with some different things, but really solidifying some type of top game here, really trying to just nail down what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna be good at. Always tinkering, trying to find some good things in everything that we do. Things I want to note from the event is that it's a team effort, and you know, regardless of what my teammates will say or what people will say online, that wasn't all me. You know, we sent out 3 guys from our team for a quintet. Quintet, I've explained it before, but it's a 5-man team. It's last man standing, essentially. So we sent out 3 guys in both rounds, and we wiped the squad, the 5-man squad of our opponents, in very efficient fashion. You know, some very dramatic moments here and there, but you know, my teammates set me up to go out there, put on a show, do my thing, wrangle and strangle, baby. You know what it is. You know, had 4 submissions, 2 draws, and eliminated 5 people myself from the quintet. So, you know, really set up my teammates for success, and you know, we came away with the W. 3-time Maximus Quintet team tournament champions. You know what, I'm willing to bet we're going to get 4, 5, 6 of those by the time it's all said and done. Well, we got some young guys in the crop that haven't had the opportunity to bet on that platform, bet on that team yet, but you know, they're going to take over eventually, as some of us, I don't want to say veterans because we're all still pretty young and new to the game, but some guys more experienced than others. But you know, we're going to graduate out of that type of environment. These quintets have usually been like purple belt and down. You know, a couple of them have been brown belt and down. But you know, once some of those guys, you know, get to that black belt level, you know, we're not going to be able to field the same team. So we got some young guys in the stable. You know, some young bucks, some young horses are going to get out there, go put on a show, do their thing. You know, make a name for themselves that way, on their own accord. You know, our team is loaded from top to bottom. Just because you haven't seen some of our guys in the quintet, and to be honest with you, our best guys aren't even on this quintet team. You know, Giuseppe, Joey, Kyle, right? Some of our other higher ranking, like brown and black belt guys, you know, they haven't been allowed to compete on this team. So to think that, you know, anyone on this quintet, the last like 3-4 times that we've been out there to compete, is our squad. Man, I'm telling you, we got some different monsters in this training room, and they're absolutely a crucial part of development for all of us. So, banged up, bruised up, right? Got a little bump on the head, as you guys can see. Grappling in the cage is a no joke. I think this is from someone's rash guard, just from some good chest to face connection, whether I was passing guard or I was playing a half guard game. I forget exactly when it happened, but I got some bumps on my head from the cage getting rubbed up against the chain link fence there, but it's all good, nothing too crazy. Hope everyone else is relatively injury free. Jiu-jitsu is a game of strangles and joint locks, but the goal is for myself to never hurt anybody, have sportsmanship and respect from top to bottom in every event, and have a good rapport, a good relationship with all my opponents. There's a lot of good guys in the sport, but there's not, and we kind of saw that this weekend a little bit too. There's an unnamed team in the Chicagoland area, and they're continuing to build a reputation in my eyes as not being respectful and not having good sportsmanship, being cocky. There's a difference between confidence and cockiness, and this group definitely displays a lot of cockiness. You got some talented grapplers, man, but it kind of just poisons the well when you're pissing in the water. And it's not, and I can't really say much about the people on the team, the competitors, but some of the voices that stick out at these events, some of the things that they're saying, whether it's their families or their fans or their friends or teammates that aren't competing, they're not dressed up to compete for that day. They just say some really disrespectful things. And, a situation happened this past weekend where there was one team who, somehow, some way couldn't field any purple or brown belts. And they had, I believe, I was told, it was a team of only white belts. And, they went out there and each of them got submitted by one person from this team. And, that guy, hey, no knock on him. I don't think he held on to any submissions or ripped on any joint locks too crazy. So none of this is his fault by any means. He went out there, did his thing. It's not his fault. You're out there to compete. Go out there and go for the win. But unfortunately, in the last opponent, he kind of maybe tapped a little late, maybe didn't really tap at all. He ended up going to sleep in a triangle and was unconscious. And, that's fine. It's part of the sport. I don't really like seeing that type of thing in general, but, it's part of it. Hope people tap before that type of stuff happens. But, sometimes, it happens quick. Your hands get caught up or you just don't know it's going to happen. But, yeah, just the reaction from the fans that really got to me, or the families, just really talking a lot of trash and, doing too much for a long time, to the point where, this competitor came back to consciousness. He was okay, got up on his feet, didn't get no injuries. He was all good. The one team advances, and the other ones are eliminated, and the fans are still going about it. Saying like, oh, he's out, he's asleep, just talking a whole bunch of other trash, and it really rubbed me the wrong way. I already kind of had this bad taste in my mouth about them, but, for me, this was the absolute last straw. And, I was told by, the promoter, like, going into the event, they were talking a bunch of trash and that they want to face us, they want to beat us. And, that's cool. I'm all about the competition. I think, talking trash is funny, when, even when an opposing team's coach starts talking trash to me in the middle of a match, I just kind of laugh about it because I think it's funny. I played college football for a long time, so professional trash talker, stuff doesn't really get under my skin. But, when you start talking to other people in like a disrespectful or a way that's totally uncool, that's where I draw the line, and I feel like I need to step up and do something. And, this is a submission-only event, and this is a team full of college wrestlers, accomplished wrestlers, and they like to go and talk about it, about how they're scoring points and taking people down. Well, there's no points in this event. There's only submissions, so any type of complaining about we would have won if there was points, well, if your guys are getting submitted anyway, you're going to lose anyway. That's straight out of one of my teammates' mouth. I won't claim the credit for saying that, but this group is just, I just got a bad taste in my mouth about it. So that happened first round of the night. We had a bye because we were the reigning champions. We were the number 1 seed. There's only 7 teams in this tournament, so we ended up getting a bye. I was telling some of my teammates throughout the week, on the night of the event, I would love, to get the chance to go out and face them. Because last time we faced them in a different quintet event, I didn't even get out the stable. You know, we sent 3 guys out, wiped their squad. We kept 2 guys fresh in the bank, and that was in the semifinal. So I had never faced any of their competitors before, unless it was in some tournament and I didn't realize it. But I had never gotten out there against them. So to me, it was like, you know, hyena, you know, nipping at the heels of the lion. And so we don't pay them too much mind. But I just couldn't get over the fact, the way they were acting, you know, in the crowd, you know, talking about this competitor that had unfortunately gone to sleep, you know, but again, he was fine. No knocking that competitor at all. But I was telling my teammates all night, like, I would love to go out and face them, but I would love it even more if they didn't make it to the dance. You know, that to me would just, like, cherry on top. You know, you want to talk all this trash, but you can't even make it in the club. But you know, they went out and they, like, kind of maybe not so narrowly, they made it through to the finals. You know, they beat this other team in the semifinal. Nothing really crazy happened there. One of their best competitors had a couple submissions. He's very talented, you know, no knock on him. World champion, so definitely like one of the more accomplished competitors in the Chicagoland area. You know, respect where respect is due. And then we get him in the final. And, you know, our guy Brad gets out there, gets a last-second submission. We're all hyped up there. And then he goes and he faces that guy, you know. He ends up getting eliminated. And then Adrian gets out there, goes to a draw with that guy. And, you know, really sets the stage for me to go out there, put my foot on their neck. Because I'm pissed the whole night. You know, I had my own quintet in the round 1. I had a solo match. And then we had the finals. And, you know, so the whole time we had a good strategy and a game plan. I want to go out there, get some submissions, put on a show. But, you know, don't want to use up, like, a ton of energy. You want to make sure I'm good to go out there and put some money in my teammates' pockets at the end of the night. And that's exactly what we did, man. And, you know, I opened the show. I take down. Sorry. I go out there and I wrestle. I take down my opponent from that wrestling-based team super quick. Right, get to my sequence, and I hit a flying armbar. Right, this is within the first minute of that round. Get him out of there. Next guy comes up. He pulls guard immediately. So now I got the wrestling team pulling guard on me. I haven't wrestled outside of jiu-jitsu a day in my life. 3 months of 3rd grade. So I guess technically I have wrestled in the past, but we played a lot of dodgeball, did a lot of sprawls and up downs, and, you know, I couldn't really tell you if it really counts for anything. Technique or experience wise. I got 3rd place out of 4 in one tournament. I lost 3 matches and I won 1 when I was 9 years old. Okay, so does it count? I don't know. If you want to count it, go ahead. But I got these wrestlers pulling guard on me out there. And I start jumping on stuff, you know, shooting for the legs, try to get that next submission. I end up in my reverse close guard to get that modified toe hold grip, you know, get him out of there too. That's 2 submissions in a row within 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, you know, so this team that's talking all this trash, all this junk, being disrespectful, being straight up bullies in the crowd, you know, we wiping them off the mat, right? Get in there, next one, right? Really strong, heavy wrestler guy. All I got to do now is stall out and we're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to take home the money and we're going to knock them out of the tournament. And once again, we're going to eliminate this entire squad with only 3 competitors. You know, the first time, like I said, I never even got out there, so you can't even say it's just me. There's been multiple times that we get into this quintet tournament, I don't even come off the bench. I stay in the stable, stay fresh. You know, other guys get out there, get the job done. So it's a team effort from top to bottom. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what my teammates say. They're a huge part of the reason why we keep winning these things. But, you know, get out there. We go to a draw. I'm just kind of moving around, playing around, just trying to make sure I stay safe. Don't need to risk anything. Because, you know, these guys are good. You know, like anything can happen. So, you know, I'm going to make sure I get this guy out of here and we're going to take home the W. You know, and that's the end of it. And, you know, like I mentioned in the past couple of weeks, you know, my friend Hunter Mason and even my mentor Alex Kuba have been in my mind a ton. You know, and I lost both those guys really quick to some severe health consequences, you know, when the month before, you know, they were some of the best athletes on the planet. Division I athlete, professional coach, you know, strong, mobile, hostile, getting out there, putting in that work. You know, and very rapidly, you know, your health can take a turn. And, you know, unfortunately, unfortunately, I got two amazing angels, up in heaven looking down on me. And this weekend was for them as much as it was for my family and myself. And, I hate bullies, and I apologize for getting emotional, but it is absolutely infuriating for me to be in a sport that is violent enough, and to just have bullies in it, you got to get them out of there. I'm going to tell you, if they don't stand up for themselves, I'm going to. I don't care if I know them. I don't even know that team's name. But I may try to send a message to their coach afterwards, and I told them, hey, that was for you guys. That was absolutely disrespectful and inappropriate, and I do not stand for it. My message for the kids each and every time: don't take steroids, don't be a juice monkey, and make sure you stand up for people who need it. We'll be at the farm putting in that work. Something I want to add really quick is it's come up in conversations this week, and I know I say 24 hours and I'm not really dwelling on it, but in conversations this week it's come up like how often I've competed this year, and I didn't realize it in the moment, but this was my third weekend in a row, but then I only had like a couple weeks off before my last like triple decker performance as well. And that's a lot, like 6 tournaments in 9-10 weekends, and it's not just those moments of competition, it's the camp leading up to it. Take a small little break in the middle, but right back to lifting, right back to practice. It takes a toll on you, and sometimes you feel a little swamped, a little worn down, but just gonna take a little bit of a mental break here, maybe hit the beach a little bit, read some books, but we'll be back to it, man. We'll get fun.
Take the fat, leave the carcass for the desert rat.